Okay, so I have a question today. It is, what if you're not eating enough? And the reason I bring it up is I'm involved in a lot of groups and I've had some people asking about why they're plateauing or how to lose that last 10 pounds or what's going on that they are not losing weight. And after I asked some more questions, I found out that they are at a calorie count that's so low, a daily calorie intake that's so low that they're probably in a starvation mode, or they've slowed their metabolism to where they can't continue to lose weight. So what I suggested was reverse dieting. Now I don't want to get into that as much as I just want to try to give a representation of what might be going on that might make you need to look into that. So if you think you might be having that problem, then look at reverse dieting as a way to get out of that. And what that's going to be is just adding a little bit of calories until you can get your metabolism up. Talked about that in another video. What I want to talk about is this little drawing that I have up. And I have 20 squares here that I'm going to have represent a field. And it can be a wheat field or a corn field, however, whatever type of crop that you want to have it represent. And I'm going to also have that, in our analogy, represent body fat. So we've got 20 blocks. It's going to be 20 pounds of body fat that we're trying to lose. We have harvesters over here, and we have planters over here. And the harvesters are going to be our BMR, or our daily caloric expenditure, and our planters are going to be our food, or our calorie intake. Now, if we normally try to stay at a balance. Our body tries to stay balanced out. So if we lose weight, if we would lose, the 10 blocks here, then it would still try to add to and lose to. So if we lost 10 pounds and every day we burned calories, every day we would try to add back in, we would still try to stay at a balance. We're always trying to get to that even balance. So for our representation, I have 2 blocks being harvested a day and 2 being planted. So every time we eat, then we're going to have some calorie expenditure going in. So what I have going on is we can actually control what goes in, and then our body's going to burn those calories. Now, we can add more planters and take more food. When we do that, we are going to add weight. Now, for the first little bit, so if we only add 1 planter, our body might initially burn off that little bit that they were growing and go ahead and harvest it. But the more we add, they're not going to keep up. They're not able to do that. Eventually, they're going to be so slow that we actually add weight, which is why we don't want to consume an abundance of food, because they're not going to keep up. So what we actually do when we're trying to lose weight is we add people on this end, and I have that represented with exercise. So what we do, instead of adding planters to lose weight, we just add in exercise. So we take out another block today by adding in exercise. So we're burning 3. Because we're burning 3 and we only have enough planters for 2, we actually can control the food. We know we didn't add any more food. Well, these guys are doing more work. So these guys are still going to do their 2, but if this continues over time and we keep having exercise, they're going to slack off and try to get it even. And eventually, they're going to start slowing down your metabolism. Now, even if we're not using exercise, even if we're just looking at restricting food. So, if we are restricting food, so we're only giving 1 block a day, which is what happens if we are cutting our calories down to, say, 1,000 calories a day. So we've cut that down, and we maybe only need 2 planters to do our 1 block. Well, these guys, they're not going to keep burning. They're going to say, well, we want to be in a balance. If they only have 2 people up there planting, then we're going to slack off too. Now, they might not quit in the first day, but eventually they're going to start cutting this down to match up there. So we still got exercise in, so we might still be burning more calories. But eventually, they're going to want this to balance out with this, even with exercise. And it's going to start trying to balance it out to where it's 1 to 1. And it's just going to start getting rid of harvesters until you're back at a balance. But now what's happened is you've made it to where this block is really small and you're not getting a lot of food, and this block is also really small. So we need to find a way to add harvesters back in, but our body won't just do that naturally. It has to have some reason to do it. So if we start tricking it and making it think that we're planting more food up here, so if we start adding calories back in, then it's going to start hiring harvesters to come back and keep burning this fat off.